Today I do not have my bluey cup. Today I have Jamaica with no sugar. I added some sugar, but it's not tasting like Jamaica is supposed to taste. My mom made this for me. And I don't know why. Maybe because the tea is strong or something, but it's really messing with my throat. I think it's like having that effect that pineapple has. You know how pineapple like is acidic and it like starts eating your tongue? It's doing that but with my throat. It's very weird. But I keep drinking it, so it should probably stop. Um I've had some really interesting revelations lately and I've had to like deal with them and I want to talk about it, and I'm gonna make this video short because I am running out of time. The sun is going down and I really want to go outside before the sun goes down. I don't know if that'll be possible, but let me try. Basically, I've been going through a lot. I've been going through a lot of mental health issues the last couple of months. As some of you may know, some of you may not know. I've been going through a whole lot. And a lot of it has had to do with some changing circumstances in my life. A lot of it has had to do with kind of not knowing why I was going through what I was going through. I was just like, what is this? Like, what trial period is God putting me through right now? And I just, in the midst of all that, like, sorrow and pain and, oh my God, buckets of tears, just like the anxiety was beating down on me so bad. I've never gone through such paralysis in anxiety before. It's been so strong, like stronger than anything I've ever experienced in my whole life. I'm not gonna cry, so it's fine. But I just wanna, all of that is to say that I had this very like interesting moment of excitement through all that, because for some strange reason I had this unknowing like feeling that because these were some of the worst times I'd experienced, that because of that was the start of my year, some of the heaviest times, I was excited to see what this year was going to do for me. I was excited to see the complete flip and turnaround. I had reached my lowest low. The only thing that was possible now was to shoot back up and high, because I don't know, it has been my experience in life, one of balance, but also like where the scales just like, anyway, where things make sense. That has been the truth of my life. It is the truth of me. It is the truth of like things balance out for me. And when things get this low, they get just as good. And that's how I knew. And I'm not trying to be preachy here, but it gave me a moment in all that like sorrow and sadness, a moment of excitement, because I'm like, dang, if this must be one of the best years of my life, because this is one of the worst moments I've been through. This is one of the worst periods I've been through, I think, ever. It's just one of those like where my thoughts of myself were changing and my circumstances financially were changing, and my dreams and my goals, they felt like I was taking steps towards them, but it really felt like I was sinking. And now that I'm getting out of that mental state and I'm coming into like new months, I'm moving soon. This summer I'm moving back to my hometown to be with my family, to also like, you know, save money. I recently got some really good news that YouTube gets to hear first, because Instagram and TikTok, come follow me on YouTube. It's cool over here. I got accepted to the school counseling program. I am now going to be a student. I'm going to be working towards my master's degree in school counseling, which like the fact that like, oh my God, when I tell you I opened up my laptop and went to the college website to see my status update, and the update was congratulations. When it started with congratulations, that's when like the tears started rolling down my eyes. I hadn't even finished, and I needed to because I wanted to read the whole thing. But yes, I was accepted into the college program, and after having applied and sent in reference letters and written a personal statement and did a whole 4-hour-long interview, I got accepted, and I'm so proud of myself. Even if nothing else happens for me, I'm proud that I got into graduate school. That is not something, and that's where the point of this video is going, that is not something I expected for myself. When I graduated, when I was in high school and, you know, working towards college, working really hard towards college, AP classes, ACE classes, like good grades, just volunteering, whatever it was, all the work that I did, I was going to college. I was going to a 4-year college. I was going to get a degree. I was going to be an English teacher. You know, obviously the English teacher part was a little bit like, it got a little bit changed up. Education, yes. But that was my goal. I had no plans, even in college, even coming to the end of college, I had no plans to pursue a master's degree. I felt like I had no need. It didn't even cross my mind, truly. And when people would ask me occasionally, because it's not that common, I don't know, like once you're done with college, I just finished 12 plus years of schooling, and then I did 4 more years on top of that voluntarily for a degree. And you want me to do more? No. And this is coming from someone who loves school, someone who loves education, someone who loves reading and expanding my mind and doing better. I just never considered master's degree. And right when I finished college, that is when TikTok blew up for me. And that is when opportunities came my way. That is when I started working in education, but I started working as a substitute, started working as a paraprofessional. Those were not jobs that I needed. Or as a residential advisor, those were not jobs that I needed at that time. I could have fully went full like TikToker mode, full like whatever. Like I could have been doing social media and just staying there in that lane. But, and I'm sure that would have been fine as well, because I had what I needed to do that. I had what I needed. I had a safety net. I could do that. And I felt really on top of the world, you know, but I still had dreams, still had things I was pursuing. I wrote a book in the midst of all that. So that speaks to something there. But I think it's really crazy how, because my circumstances changed pertaining to a lot of the investing myself in a lot of the dreams, I don't think I would have even considered, like if you really, really think about it, a master's degree had my circumstances not changed. Because things were starting to get so rock bottom, I started like working at this school that I'm at now, seeing my cousin. There was dominoes, right? There was little things that affected me, but like it's crazy because I think God really did something here, guys. And if you don't believe in God, that's perfectly fine. But like, listen to me when I say I don't think I would have even applied. I don't think it would have crossed my mind. I don't think this wasn't it. Like, it's not an escape plan. This is something you have to work at for me, at least for the program that I'm in. It's going to take 3 years to be a school counselor. It's going to take 3 years. And this is part-time, so I'm working at the same time, and I'm doing social media, and I'm an author. So there's a lot going on, but it's the fact that I could have done all that without schooling, without pursuing a master's degree. Like I could just keep going, pursue my writing life, and be a full-time author and a full-time social media person who occasionally works in education. I could have done that, but because my circumstances changed, because I invested a lot of what TikTok was able to afford me into my book and into this space and into the life that I've lived, I had to consider other things. I had to it kind of just reevaluated it. I want to emphasize it wasn't like I hit rock bottom and I was like what's an easy out? Like what's my backup plan? Because this is not a backup plan. This is so interesting because I was kind of like, and I don't even know if I thought to myself what's next necessarily, because I do think that I love my job, the one that I'm at now. I do think I could have kept doing that. And I'm sorry if this is all vague. I think I could have kept doing that, but it was so tough kind of not being paid what I feel like not my bachelor's degree, you know, all that work, it pays less than a Costco worker, you know what I mean? Much less. And I think that's, you know, I think having considered looking around and all the signs pointing to you should be a school counselor, and me seeing a school counselor position pop up for me, and the only requirement that I was missing was a master's degree, on top of the fact that my younger cousin is graduating high school and she got accepted to her university, and I went with her to orientation day and experienced all of that, and just a lot of different things going on at the same time. Like I said, dominoes. Literally, I was able to, I think it took 1 week, less than a week, like 6 days, to put everything for my application together, including my references, 3 references, professional, putting all of my references together, putting my personal statement together, getting all the materials that I needed, my transcripts, all of that. I did that in 6 days because that's how like in the middle of all the chaos happening mentally in my mind. Like if I could show you a photo of like I'm talking about February, March, those 2 months didn't break me, but got me so low where my sister took a picture of me while we were on her birthday trip, and all you could I look like this. It's haunting. And I have to show you guys that picture because it's actually crazy. But I submitted like my application days before that trip, and the application was due March 1st. So I was in the thick of like my lowest mental health state ever. Wow, just like those months, I think I was crying every single day, and it was so emotional, and it was just so like such a hit to my self-esteem, to me. And I appreciate my brain for always protecting me and always surrounding me with beautiful people, because that's what got me through. But I don't know if I would have even considered, because like truly this fell in my lap, and it felt like the right thing to do, and it felt like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, this is the next step. You know what I mean? This is not substituting. This is not, you know what I mean? I would not have considered this had my circumstances not changed like they did. I would not have considered this. I think God put this in my hands, and I think God made it so that, Joe, you have to consider this. You can't just say, no, I'm fine, I'll do whatever I want. Like, that's cool, but I want you to consider this and actually pursue it. So that's what I'm doing, and I think it was all God's plan. So it's very interesting, because I did not see myself even 3 months ago. I talked about a friend talked to me about a master's degree once in like the last year, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun, because I've always I love learning. So it's not that I was opposed to it, but I definitely wasn't considering it. I definitely didn't expect to get unaccepted. The point is, this is a new chapter, and a lot of content's gonna come from this, trust me. But I think God set me up to the point where I had to focus on something like this, and God was like, you feel like you're untouchable, not untouchable, but like you feel like you're comfortable in where you are, and I'm gonna make you uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that you end up paying attention to something you probably wouldn't have paid attention to. And I have to give God the grace, because during those times I was praying. We was talking every single day, like, oh my God. And obviously still do, but like the fact that I think I was kind of like, that better not be my car. It turned off. But the fact that I don't think I would truly, a whole year ago, if you had asked me if I would do something like this, if I would apply for a master's degree and like commit myself to a school and be a student again, nah, I would have probably said, no, I'll wait. But yeah, I would have said, no, it's okay. I'll wait until I'm older, and I'll probably never go back to school, because I would have been fine. Even though like I said, I love learning, but to go through schooling again is such a commitment, and to have other things going on in my life that I could commit to that weren't that, felt easier, felt more comfortable, felt better, made more sense. Like, why would I go back to school? Why would I do that? This had to happen like this. And I remember sitting on my bedroom floor and just thinking, okay, God, I get it. I learned I get this, like this trial or whatever the heck this is fun. I learned the lesson. Let's wrap it up. And yes. So I'm moving out of my apartment in about 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months, basically. 2 months and a week. Which that time's gonna fly by, but at times it feels so long, because school's wrapping up, and then summer school, hopefully, because I'm gonna need to work during the summer, and then I'm moving into my sister's house. So as long as all of that gets done and I can focus on this, I'm going to be in an environment where I don't have to worry about rent as much. I'm going to be worrying about school, and I'm going to be worrying about expanding my YouTube and growing my YouTube empire and growing this community. That's what I'm gonna focus on. Hello. I don't have to worry about like furnishing or maintaining a whole house, or living so far from my family. I don't have to worry about those things. I don't have to like worry about, the school that I'm in. And I love my job, but there was a lot of growing that happened. Hopefully this isn't too vague. I don't want to say like every little thing, but I want to be transparent as well. But thank you so much for listening. Oh my god, it's getting dark. I think I have maybe like 30 minutes before it's like pitch black. But thank you guys so much for listening to this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being in this community with me. It is going to be worth it, trust. I'm really excited for the future, and wow, what a life lesson to get to where God wanted me to be, I guess. It's so amazing, and I have to give thanks because I don't know how else this could have caught my attention had it not been all that I had to go through. But thank you guys so much for listening. Bye. I'm gonna try to post every day again because I took a little break. Like I said, I was going through stuff. I love you. Bye.